Hello, my name is Trydar. Welcome to part 3 of the Roman Colosseum tutorial. Let's pick up right where we left off. So for this phase, we are starting to build the second tier of the colonnade of the Colosseum. And the section we want to focus on here are these two blocks here, which are the new parts. Now, right behind the ring of basalt that you should have constructed in the last phase, you want to put a ring of chiseled stone bricks. And in between those, we are putting in the bases for the next series of columns. Now, I'm not going to go along and count these out because this is designed such that the columns that are on top of here are exactly on top of the columns that you built down here. So you can use all of the measurements that we made previously to establish where these columns are to site these columns here, because this column base that we are beginning to build is exactly the same base as is constructed down here way back in the beginning of part 1. And from here we will begin constructing also the lower and upper parts of the column, as well as the entablature that's going to sit on top of that. So you then want to go along and start building those here, and I will give you a good top-down overhead view of the entire structure, how it should look at present. And this may be a little too high up, so let me go down just a little bit and show you a more zoomed in section of a quadrant of this, so you can see how it is laid out. Now, on the inside in here, it is just a flat area. There aren't any guardrails over here for the chiseled stone bricks, but if you want to, you can come along and place those in here as well, if you so desire to do that. And let me just give you a panoramic shot as we go along the top here, so you can see how they are laid out along the sides here. And also there's a small detail over here with the access ladders that we've been constructing that you use over here to get up to the top level of the colonnade around here, and there are 4 of those. And there's not really a tunnel for the seating over here that's designed to come up all the way here, because it's not really designed that people should sit up there. It's just sort of an employee's service access, you could say. So I think that that phase is complete. So let's move on to the next one. Now over here we have the tops of the 3x3 Corinthian columns that we've been constructing this entire time. I think most of the last phase you were just constructing the diorite pillars themselves. But at this level up here, we then want to mirror what we did down here a little bit with the cobblestone, but you want to do it with stone bricks instead, like so on all 4 sides. And with that done, we want to take a look at the bases of the columns. As I've said, these are copies of what you built down there, so you want to go along on all your pillars, on all the bases that you sited, and build them up another 2 blocks according to the same pattern around here. Fairly simple phase, but very repetitive. Let's move on over here. We are building out some more detail of the Corinthian capital on this phase over here. You are doing this with some chiseled stone bricks and some cobble, and also some cobblestone walls, which are meant to represent the lower parts of the cantilever. Over here on the colonnade itself, you are continuing to build up the columns with more cobblestone, and we are beginning the pillars for the diorite. So you want to go along and build all of those out as you see done here. And the same will hold true for the next several phases, so we can make up quite a lot of time on the description of those. We just have to focus in on this area over here. We are building up yet more detail for the Corinthian capitals on these. It's a 3x3 Corinthian capital design, which means that it can be more ornate because we have more blocks to play with. And each face of this is the same. It's just cobblestone walls, upside down stone bricks, chiseled stone bricks, and cobble, as you see down there. We can sort of gloss over the pillars, as I've said, because you're just adding another 2 blocks to the column height. You're doing that over here as well, again. So I will just show you this. We're getting ready to complete our Corinthian capital. Our stairs are coming out a little bit more. And we have some cobblestone walls on the sides here. And some chiseled stone bricks in a 3x3 pattern here at the top. Right, with that done, let's fly over here to the next phase. On top of the capital, we are putting in a small ornate entablature type feature. And you're doing that with just a ring of upside down cobblestone stairs and a ring of upside down stone brick stairs all the way around. Fairly simple to do. And build up your columns yet 2 more blocks. Moving on again. All these phases this is going to be probably the simplest phase. You just want to go ahead on top of what you just built and do a 2-block 3x3 thing of diorite. You can leave it hollow in the middle or put a little cobble in there. And build up the columns again. 2 more blocks. Okay, over here for the side monuments, you extend it up another block of cobble and then chiseled stone bricks and upside down stone brick stairs, as you see done here on all of these 4 sides. Okay. Let me, where were we? Add 2 more blocks to the diorite pillars right here. And over here, again on the monument in this next phase, we're adding in a ring of upside down cobblestone stairs. This is exactly what you did here. You just want to do it again up here. And put chiseled stone bricks in this pattern on top of that. And for the columns over here, you should be finished with the column drums at this phase here. And you want to start building the Corinthian capitals again. Exactly the same design as you did down here. At this point, you could skip ahead a little bit and build the entire capital out, as you see done there and over here as well. It's also at this next phase, we're building the bottom of the soldier statues. This is the sword, so the soldier would be facing this way, but you can make him face whichever direction you prefer. There is a small detail of glowstone in here to light up the base a little bit. And over here behind that, you then want to, it's pretty much just, this is what you gathered most of the black stone for. You want to put a lot of the black stone here in this pattern and some black stone stairs. And this represents the feet and the base of the cape. So we can continue on. We will build up a bit more of the soldier statue. We've got sort of some kneecaps over here for upside down cobblestone stairs. A bit more of the sword that he's holding. You're building there. And black stone and red nether brick for the cape along the back here. And as I've remarked, you just want to build out the Corinthian capitals again. You should know how to do that by heart. by now, I am sure. So let us move on again quickly to the soldier statue again. For this, you're building some upside down black stone stairs and some right side up stairs on top of that to represent the upper part of the leg greaves. On top of that, you're building a bit more of the cape according to this pattern back here, and you're pretty much filling in the middle with solid black stone. Okay, over here again, we have finished the pillars and the colonnade, so we now need to put an entablature on top of it. And again, you are using this same design for the entablature. According to the exact same measurements as you built it below, you're building it again, except you're building it up here. Now, at this point, there are some lower details for the canopy, the awning, which we're going to be building fairly shortly. So I'm going to gloss over the placement of these because you will be able to see it better in the next phase. And also, I don't think I need to count out the ring of the circle along here because, as I've said, these are exactly the same measurements as we laid out in part 2. So you should be able to use what you built down there as a guide to help you build it again up there. Okay, let's take a look at the soldier statue again. We have the hands over here and the top part of the sword represented by that. And you want to build it out according to this pattern here with a couple of blocks and slabs. And on top and behind that, you want to put some stairs done like that. And these statues are all symmetrical, by the way, along this center line that goes through here. And, could be cobble. And over here, along the back, here's the design for the cape. It's just a very simple cross-hatching of black stone and red nether brick. Over here, as I've said, we're building up the entablature again for the second layer of the colonnade according to the exact same design as you did below down there. What's different about this particular level, though, is we are now building out the awning for the top of the Colosseum. And most of these patterns are pretty much going to defy explanation, actually. But I will do my best. So underneath here, let me give you a good view. And you should be able to use the block counts that you made for the circle of the interior entablature, which I suggest you build the entire entablature first. And then you can come along and start laying in the wooden beams and stretchers that are holding up the awning. And you want to do that according to this pattern here. I'm just going to kind of go below as best I can and show this to you. Very slowly along here. As you can see, the awning sections are held up. They're held tight with spruce fences, and they are spaced out from the diorite entablature and the beams themselves by spruce fences. So let me go along through here and give you a view of at least a quarter of the circle, because the other quarters are going to be exactly the same. And I will do this for the top part of the awning as well. And what you should do is pretty much just pause the video and replicate the block patterns that you see. It's going to be the best way that I can describe that to you. Let me go over here to the top and do the same again for the sides, as I suggest that you build this from the sides and build it inwards instead of trying to build it on the inside and extend it outwards. So here is the top-down section here. And over here. And I believe this section should correspond to the diagonal that I've been talking about since part 1, by the way. So that should help you get this measurement fairly easily done. And the side sections over here. And you should be able to use the wooden block counts to help you get the oak wood rings that I've inset into the awning complete as well. But I will measure out a couple of those to help you. And there is also the ring around the center here. And I think the ring of this, by the way, it's exactly the same as the ring down there at the bottom that encompasses the arena floor. Because maybe you can look down and see that. But it should be the same measurements. So I wanted to keep that consistent in the design. Now along the front, there are some small details here where the spruce fences are sort of like pegs fastening all the awning together and holding everything tight and keeping it from collapsing. Of course, this is Minecraft, so we don't have to worry about collapsing, but I like to put these thoughts into the build anyway. And underneath is when you come through here and add these small little wooden projections. And down here, these are the wooden projections that we saw in the last phase that I told you that we should wait until this phase to build because they are following exactly the design of the rings that hold the canopy up. So let me give you a view from below of this. We're going to have to spend quite a little while describing this particular phase. And I suggest that you build the wooden beams first, and then you build the fence parts, and then the air gaps that are left, fill those in with all of the netherwart blocks, or whatever material you choose to use for the color of your awning up here. I wanted a nice deep Roman red, that's why I chose the netherwart, but you are of course free to choose any material you want to have. I would suggest that if you are in survival and you do use the netherrack down there, remember not to use anything flammable above here. And like the wood I've actually already used. I play with fire tick off, so it doesn't matter. But I suppose I should have thought of that. You should probably actually use campfires because I don't think I don't know if the netherrack, the burning netherrack has a height limit or not. I've always hated that feature about netherrack. But you might want to test that out because I wouldn't want your entire canopy to go up in flames. That'd be really bad. Let's see. Let me go over here and count some things out for you. From here, from this point to that point over there, it's going to be 1, 2, 4, 10, 11 blocks to get here, and then a gap. And then from here to the interior ring, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 12, 15 blocks to get here. And then there's 2 more blocks to get out there. So when you're building this, that measurement and the measurement down there below for the ring of the floor should serve as a check for you to get the measurements of the awning at the top here correct. And I'll give you one good last view of this here from the top down. And I think all the blocks are high contrast enough that you can see that without difficulty. All right, let us move on from that long phase to back to the statue over here. We have a bit of blackstone in here and some upside down cobblestone stairs, and right side up and more upside down for the arms of the statue and for the shoulder plates. And the breastplate, we have just black stone stairs and a bit more different detail on the cape back here. Right. So over here, we are building a bit more of the entablature up, according to the exact same design that you did down there. As I've said, you are repeating it up here. And on the inside here, you are building also the entablature again, but attached to it, we are having these sort of wooden, I mean, these should technically be ropes, but we don't really have rope in Minecraft. So to represent that, I have used spruce fences, by the way, to sort of fasten all this together. But I think, let me give you a view of what you should be building here. And this is serving as sort of a secondary supports tied to the top of the roof, which we're going to be building shortly, to keep the canopy tight above the arena. And here's what you want to be building here. And I have added some optional torches up here. If you're doing this in survival, I imagine you will want many more torches than what I have prescribed. And over here, you're doing this. Just sort of build out what you see on the screen. And over here, there is this. And I think this is this section here. This is almost the diagonal. As you can see, you're just putting it on top of the wooden beams. And over here, this is the section for the diagonal, which means that that is 1/8 of the circle. So you want to do that 7 more times. And let me give you a view of the interior around here as well. It's sort of a ring of fences, pretty much just put straight on top of the wood, of the oak wood ring for the interior part that you built here. And you want to build with some tree trunks here, and then just put the spruce fences on top of those. And as an optional thing, you can also put some torches on top of those if you so please. All right, with that finished, let's move on to the statues over here. We're almost done with these statues. We're building out the head here with some upside down cobblestone stairs, full blocks, and some black stone stairs and half slabs, along with a bit of red nether brick at the back here to form part of our Roman headdress. Okay, over here we are building again the entablature, just like you built before, except at this level up here, there's no change. We are starting to build out the roof that is going to cover the circular colonnade around our Colosseum. And you are doing that according to this pattern here with just a bit of red nether brick and some cobble. And you need to get the spacings on these correct, because these are going to serve as sort of a cobblestone ribbing between the roof segments to break it up a little bit. And our center line, by the way, which I haven't mentioned in a while, is passing through here. So bear that in mind while I show you a quadrant, so you can pause and replicate the design as you see. All right, and let me also give you a higher altitude view of this so you can see the entire thing at a glance. All right, with that done, you are building up a bit more of the interior part of the awning. And, oh, I actually did put torches on here. I thought those were missing. Over here, you are adding a bit more rope support with represented by the spruce fences. And you want to do that according to this pattern here. You're pretty much just going in a 4-block thing, and then you're doing 4 blocks like that and like that. But you're doing the same thing over here, except you're following the line of the wood beams that are below that. So you want to kind of bend it. I mean, you're still going up like this slope here, but you're following the line of the wood beam supports below that. So that should help you get this messy part over here done. And I believe that is all there is to show on that phase over there. Now, moving on again, we at long last are completing these Roman statues with our characteristic Roman headdress here. And you're doing that, of course, with some red nether brick and some black stone stairs. So, from top to bottom, these decorative or Roman soldiers on top of a column over here are now complete. And this is sort of a 2-for-1 type situation, because now that I've shown you how to build these, you can pretty much build these anywhere else in your world that you choose. They don't have to be just at the Colosseum. You can put some flanking a temple or other sections of buildings that you wish to build. So over here, we are now building out the roof of the circular colonnade that sits on top of the Colosseum here. You want to pretty much follow the pattern. I'm going to give you a top-down view. It should be fairly easy to replicate this, like so. And of course, with this, you are alternating red nether brick and black stone slabs. And you're doing it according to these patterns here. On the diagonal, it gets a little messy. Because, I mean, you know, it's Minecraft. We only have squares to work with. So we do our best to make the correct representations. This is one of these things that it looks better from a distance than it does up close. I believe this is the diagonal over here. So I will give you a higher altitude, top-down view of an entire quadrant of what we've got going on here so far. Let's see, is there anything else on this part? I think there is some small detail over here with the fences. So I will go along here, give you a view of those. They connect and cap off over here, by the way. So this is the last part that you will need to construct to build the awning at the top of your Colosseum. Like so. And I think that is the diagonal over there. So I have shown you those parts as well. So from here on out, we will just be focusing on the top of the roof itself. And aside from the flagpoles, we are almost done. So I'll give you a view along here. You want to construct it according to the patterns that you see on your screen. I'm going to give you a view of both sides of this, but I want to do a complete sweep along a quadrant on the inside and the outside, and then we will do a top-down view. And you want to be doing it as you see here. We're building out the bases of the flagpoles over there with these wooden beams at this part also. So you want to site those properly as well. And a good top-down view of the entire quadrant here. All right, let us move on again. I think at this phase here, which we are now doing, we are actually finishing off the roof segments. And we are doing that we're pretty much just putting some decorative finials on top of the ribbing with cobblestone stairs. as you see done here. Each one of these fanels is exactly the same design, by the way. It's just cobblestone stairs facing each other, two of them stacked on top of each other. And every place you have a rib intersection on the top here, you want to place one of those decorative fanels. And you also want to extend up your flagpoles another 2 blocks. And over here, you want to do that again, extending up your flagpoles another 2 blocks, I think. They look like they're a total of 6 blocks tall. And these are going to be the bases of the flags, which would be best shown to you if we just skip on over to the next phase over here. And I think actually I should skip directly to the last phase to show you the flags in their entirety. Because these flags, these are all the exact same design and they face the same direction because of the wind direction, by the way. It's just one of those things. I mean, we are in Minecraft, so you're going to have to imagine that they would change their direction with the wind. And you want to build it out according to this pattern here. They are pretty much all on a straight diagonal line, as you can see right here. And below that, they are all just a simple design, arranged as you see done here. And there are 2 color flags, which means that at this point, you can choose whichever wool color you would like to have up here. I've chosen various materials around here to represent different flag colors. But at this point, I did not include the exact colors that I chose to use because, I mean, they were pretty much random. But I expect that you will want to stamp your own particular flag color on top of the coliseums that you've been so long in laboring to construct. And once you have gotten all your flags up and waving in the breeze, your Roman Colosseum will be at long last complete. So this concludes the Roman Colosseum tutorial. I hope you have a lot of fun building it and then battling your friends on the arena floor down here. This has been a much requested tutorial, so I'm glad to be able to provide it to you. And remember, if any sections of the tutorial were unclear in the video, the world is available for download, so you can come to the exact phase and take a look at it for yourself if anything I said was unclear. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.